Hi, I'm Clare Jones. I'm a qualified occupational therapist and one of the directors at MediRecruit. The other director is Danielle Whedon and she's a physio by background. MediRecruit is a specialist allied health recruitment company that offers expert career advice to allied health professionals and recruits to roles across Australia, New Zealand and the UK. Over the next few minutes, I'm going to talk a little bit about what you need to look for in your first role as an occupational therapist. So the good news is occupational therapists are currently in high demand across most areas of practice, and more commonly, I'm seeing new graduates having to choose between a number of job offers when they start their career. In these situations, I'm often asked, what is the most important thing to look for in a job? My answer to this is really simple: supervision, support, and professional development. If you're well supported and provided with ongoing learning in a role, then the chances are you'll not only perform well in the role, but you'll also really enjoy it. So, as a graduate or junior therapist, what questions do you need to be asking to assess the level of support offered by a private practice, a hospital, or an organisation? Here are my key questions. How much supervision is offered is definitely number one. Is it weekly, fortnightly or monthly? And for how long are the supervision sessions? Who will supervise me? Is it an occupational therapist or another allied health professional, such as a physio or a psychologist? Is supervision provided by someone within the organisation or externally? How often and how easily can I access supervision and support? Is there someone available to offer help and support throughout the day, or do I need to wait until my set supervision session to answer any questions that I may have? Ideally, as a new graduate, you'll receive weekly supervision from an occupational therapist. It's also beneficial for you to be able to call on that person within reason when you need to throughout the working week. In line with supervision and support, it's also important to ascertain if professional development is offered and funded by the organisation. You are required to undertake a certain amount of professional development annually in order to maintain your registration with AHPRA. Commonly, employers will offer you a professional development allowance and offer you paid leave to undertake training and courses. So when considering your first role as an OT, it's really important to consider what role is right for you as an individual. It's a good idea to think back to your clinical placements, to reflect on what you enjoyed most. And I'm not just referring to the area of practice here. Think of where you felt most confident and well supported. Which placements did you really enjoy and why? Here are some things to consider. Are you suited to a community-based role where you're working autonomously out in people's homes, schools and kindergartens? Or do you prefer the hospital or clinic environment where you have colleagues in close proximity to call on for assistance and advice? Would you prefer to work in a large department with many OTs on staff, or would you prefer to work in a smaller team? Would you prefer to work in a multidisciplinary team? Would you ideally like a role that offers a specific new grad program? Do you want to work to billable hours, or would you prefer a role where this isn't a requirement, especially for your new grad year? Do you want a role that requires a significant amount of travel, or would you prefer to work in one location? So there are a lot of things to weigh up when deciding on which role is right for you, and in the case of occupational therapy, there are so many different options. Regardless of what roles you're considering, just remember, supervision, support and professional development are key factors in determining how well you'll perform in a role, and more importantly, how much you'll enjoy the experience. I wish you all the best in your very first job as an occupational therapist, and I hope you found this information useful.